Imagine a world with no pain, no fear, no shame, a world where everything works exactly the way it should. That was the world God created. After forming the heavens, the earth, and every living thing, God created a special place called the Garden of Eden. It was beautiful, beyond words, lush trees, flowing rivers, colorful plants, and peace everywhere. God placed the first man there. His name was Adam. Adam wasn't created by accident. God formed him from the dust of the ground and breathed life into him. Adam opened his eyes and took his first breath face to face with his Creator. God gave Adam purpose. He was to care for the garden and name the animals. But as Adam worked, God noticed something important. Adam was alone. So God said, "It is not good for man to be alone." God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep. From Adam's side, he created a woman, Eve. When Adam saw her, he knew at once. She was a gift from God. Adam and Eve lived together in perfect harmony with each other, with creation and with God. They walked with God. They talked with God. They trusted God, and God gave them freedom. He said they could eat from any tree in the garden, except one, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God warned them, "If you eat from this tree, you will surely die." It wasn't a harsh rule. It was an invitation to trust, the choice that changed everything. For a long time, Adam and Eve lived in peace. They had everything they needed. They lacked nothing. But then, a new voice entered the garden. The serpent, crafty and deceptive, approached Eve. He asked a simple question: "Did God really say you must not eat from any tree in the garden?" Eve corrected him, explaining that God allowed them to eat from all the trees except one. But the serpent replied, "You will not surely die. God knows that when you eat it, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God." Doubt began to grow. Eve looked at the tree. The fruit looked good. It looked desirable. She took the fruit and ate it. Then she gave some to Adam, and he ate it too. In that moment, everything changed. Their eyes were opened, but not the way they expected. They suddenly felt shame, fear, guilt. For the first time, they realized they were naked, and they hid. When God came walking in the garden, he called out, "Where are you?" Adam and Eve hid among the trees, not because God didn't know where they were, but because he wanted them to come to him. When confronted, Adam blamed Eve. Eve blamed the serpent, and sin entered the world. Consequences, mercy, and hope. God spoke to the serpent, to Eve, and to Adam. There were consequences because choices matter. Life would now include pain, struggle, and hard work. The perfect harmony was broken. Adam and Eve could no longer stay in the garden. They were sent out of Eden not because God stopped loving them, but because sin and holiness cannot live together. Yet even in judgment, God showed mercy. He clothed Adam and Eve, covering their shame, and he made a promise. One day, he said, a Savior would come, someone who would defeat evil and restore what was broken. As Adam and Eve left the garden, they stepped into a harder world, but not a hopeless one. Final moral and reflection. The story of Adam and Eve teaches us something deeply human. We all face choices. We all face temptation, and sometimes we choose wrongly. But this story also teaches us that God is not only just, he is merciful. God doesn't abandon humanity after the first failure. He begins a rescue plan, and that plan leads all the way to Jesus. So when you feel tempted, when you feel ashamed, when you feel like you've made the wrong choice, remember this: God still calls out, "Where are you?" Not to condemn you, but to bring you back. Because even after the first choice went wrong, God's love never did. If this story encouraged you, share it with someone today. And remember, every day brings a new choice, and God's grace is always available.